Welcome everybody to my latest video. So for this video, as you can see, I got something here that's for sale. What you see here is the River Service JVS to Jamma adapter. Now I released sort of a video on this item before. Just to give you, well first, let me basically show you what it is. So what this does is this allows you to play Jamma games inside a JVS cabinet. Now, if you have a regular arcade cabinet and you have games in there like Street Fighter 2, maybe even Mortal Kombat, Final Fight, that's a Jamma cabinet. A JVS cabinet will be something that runs Naomi hardware, Taito Type 1, 2, 3, Chihiro hardware. It's a cabinet. I'm not going to go into too much detail. This isn't going to be too big of a video, hopefully. But you'll know if you have a JVS cabinet. Now, what this does is you power it, and you power it like you would your standard Naomi power, which, don't quote me on this. There's plenty of videos online. In fact, let me see. Just give me a second. You got the power inputs right there, if that's what you want to call them. Where is it? I have a picture. Okay. So, looking at it this way, you got an 8-pin connector and a 6-pin connector. So the 8-pin on this side, in fact, all of these are ground. So the 8-pin, that first one at the very top, you don't put anything in. I'm referring to here. Going over the second one on the top is actually 3.3 volts. The third one on the top is actually 5 volts, and the fourth one on the top row is 12 volts. Now, the 6-pin, in case you can't tell, I did not totally prepare for this video, so I'm just doing things on the fly. So the 6-pin right here, the ones on the bottom are all ground. The first pin at the very top, this one right here, nothing goes in there. The second pin is 3.3 volts. And the third and last pin at the top is 5 volts. So that's how you power this thing on. Now, how do you use it? Obviously, you can tell by the title of this video, it's for sale. I don't have any use for this. I've decided it's not for me. I'll tell you my history on it in a little bit. But how do you use it? Well, you power it on. You put your Jamma game on this side. This right here is for a kick harness. You got right here. Right here is where you connect the cable that goes from your control I/O board. And that's the board that your joysticks and buttons are hooked up to. Normally, there's a cable that looks like it has a USB 1.0 port or connector, and that will go into your Chihiro, your Naomi, your Taito Type X. Well, instead of going in there, you'll plug it in right here. These right here for your sound, and this is for your video. So instead of, that's the other thing. JVS cabinets, most likely they're not going to be hooked up to the video monitor via your Jamma harness. So that's where these come in. VGA outputs. So here's the item itself. Thing is, the output kicks out 15 kilohertz. And HD monitors, you're usually looking at 31. So in order to use this on an HD monitor, you're going to need an upscaler, such as one of these. Now this thing, you power it on via this connector here. The red wire is 5 volts. The black wire is ground. I'm really not going to show any of this because it would take me too long to get set up. I'm kind of in a rush right here, and I'm just going to post this video. Somebody wants to buy this, great. If not, I'm just going to hold on to it. You got all your inputs and outputs. You got your red, green, blue, CGA inputs, VGA input, your outputs right here. So you read up on the history of this item. Here's your what do you call it? How you control this? When you select the certain type of video you have, etc., etc. There's online instructions. So you need one of these if you're going to hook it up to HD monitor. Again, I am totally unprepared. I just got home from work. It's getting dark. Got things to do. I'm kind of in a rush. Okay. So, yeah, I'm selling this as a package for anybody who's interested. I have no use for them. Now, let me tell you the history of my experience with this. This is made by River Service. First of all, this has been discontinued by the manufacturer. As far as I know, there's very few JVS to Jamma adapters out there. And the one that everybody wants hardly comes up for sale. And this is usually the backup. However, this has been discontinued, and right now the only place you can get these that I've seen is on eBay by a seller. I believe it's Videotronics UK. And in order to ship to the United States, that person's charging about $280 total. That's for the item and shipping. I'm selling all this for $200. Now, my history on this. If you see my videos, you'll know I purchased one of these before because I wanted to try and put Jamma games in my Universal Lindbergh cabinet. For that cabinet, I used to have my Taito Type X2 multi-hardware. I moved that over to my Vulix. So I thought, okay, I'll just try and play Jamma in my Lindbergh. Now, a while back, I had purchased one of these. In fact, it might have even been before I got my Lindbergh hardware. Can't remember. These don't come with instructions. I got one. I couldn't figure it out. I had no clue what I was doing. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm just going to take it at a loss. I'm going to sell it for parts. And I ended up selling it, lost some money on it. But I sold it. Oh well. Well, fast forward, I decided, you know what, I'm going to take another crack at it. Maybe, who knows? Maybe the first one was a fluke. So I bought this one. Again, no instructions. Why they don't sell them with instructions, I don't know. I mean, even if it was just a cheap, PDF of, you could view online. But I got this one, still couldn't figure it out. Went on the forums, got some help as to how to power this thing. Eventually figured it out with the help of some online members from various forums. And I was slowly able to get this thing to somewhat work. I put this in my Universal Lindbergh cabinet. I was able to get sound, no problem, and I was able to get video, no problem. Again, I had to use an upscaler, a converter, whatever you want to call this, because I needed 31 kilohertz, and this only pops out 15. So I was able to get video and sound. Problem was, well, let me take that back. When I didn't know what I was doing, in fact, I was only connecting this connector, I was able to get sound, but that was it. And then I messed with, I found out why I'm not getting video, and I connected this one, all that. So fast forward, I get this all set up. Got video, got sound. Controls do not work. I cannot get them to work at all. Verified all my voltages, still cannot get the controls to work. My cabinet, my Lindbergh cabinet, uses a Sega Model 3 I.O. board. Or a Type 3 I.O. board. So it just doesn't seem to work. Other people have said that this works perfectly with a Sega Type 1 I.O. board. So maybe that's true. Who knows? What I also did is I connect this in my Lindbergh cabinet, and I use my Vuelix I/O board, whichever one the Model L Vuelix uses. I connected that to this, powered it, had this powered on, had my Vuelix I/O powered through my Vuelix, and I was able to get the controls to work. However, there was a huge delay. So it appears with this item, it's either hit or miss depending on what type of I/O board you use. So that's the story here. Take it for what it is. If you're interested, send me a private message through YouTube, and we can I'll sell it to you. If no one's interested, oh well, whatever. I'll just hang on to this. Maybe one day in the future I'll need it. But just for me, it's not for me. I'm looking for 200 or best offer. Also interested in trades for arcade stuff, but yeah. So there you are. If you have any questions, let me know. Until next time. Guess this video was longer than I thought.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.